In WWE, a wrestler's career isn't determined by in-ring skills alone. Appearance, style, and personal branding also play a critical role. Many superstars have hit roadblocks, lost the crowd support, and seemed stuck in place, but with bold changes to their look and attitude, they completely reinvented themselves, going from forgettable to main event caliber. Today, Wrestling Sphere takes a look at WWE wrestlers who transformed their image and rose to superstardom. 1. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero's return to WWE in 2002 marked a turning point that completely changed the trajectory of his career. After spending a long period away from the company to battle addiction and regain control of his life, Eddie came back with a completely new mindset, focused, disciplined, and determined to prove himself. What shocked both fans and WWE management the most was his dramatic physical transformation. Eddie returned looking almost unrecognizable, with bigger arms, a broader chest and shoulders, and an overall more powerful, muscular physique compared to his previous self. This transformation immediately caught Vince McMahon's attention. It wasn't just his physical appearance that impressed people. Eddie delivered phenomenal performances inside the ring, putting on technical masterclasses and telling compelling stories that kept audiences hooked. WWE quickly capitalized on this momentum, pushing Eddie into high-profile storylines and even pairing him with top stars of the era, including Stone Cold Steve Austin. In the years that followed, Eddie's physique became even more defined and powerful. The image of the small, agile Eddie Guerrero from earlier in his career was now replaced by that of a dominant champion who looked ready to take on anyone. The combination of his elite wrestling skills and his upgraded appearance made him one of the most beloved stars in WWE at the time. His career peaked in 2004 when he defeated Brock Lesnar to become WWE Champion, creating one of the most iconic and emotional moments in wrestling history. However, behind this incredible transformation was a darker reality. Many sources have speculated that Eddie's rapid muscle growth was linked to steroid use and other performance-enhancing substances, which may have taken a toll on his health over time. Tragedy struck in 2005 when Eddie passed away suddenly at just 38 years old, leaving fans around the world heartbroken. Despite the heartbreaking end, Eddie Guerrero's physical transformation and relentless fighting spirit cemented his legacy as one of the most inspiring and legendary superstars in WWE history. 2. Drew McIntyre. When Drew McIntyre first arrived in WWE, he was introduced as the Chosen One, someone expected to become a cornerstone of the company's future. However, during that period, Drew struggled to make a real impact. His look was good, but not enough to make him stand out among a roster full of larger-than-life stars. His in-ring style also lacked the explosiveness that could grab attention, causing him to slowly fade into the background. Eventually, he was released from WWE after failing to live up to the potential the company had envisioned for him. His time away from WWE became a major turning point that allowed Drew to completely reinvent himself. He didn't just change his attitude and sharpen his in-ring skills. He focused on transforming his entire physique. Drew committed to intense training and a strict nutrition plan, sculpting a lean, powerful body with well-defined muscle mass. By the time he returned to WWE in 2017, he looked like an entirely different man. Stronger, grittier, and radiating confidence that immediately caught the attention of fans and WWE management alike. Only a few months into his NXT return, Drew proved that the change went far beyond appearance. He quickly captured the NXT Championship, showcasing dominance and the presence of a true top star. Vince McMahon and WWE officials were reportedly impressed by everything about him: his new look, his polished wrestling ability, and his command of the audience every time he stepped into the ring. Not long after, Drew was called back up to the main roster and positioned as one of WWE's premier stars. His transformation reached its peak in 2020 when he won the Royal Rumble in dramatic fashion, eliminating none other than Brock Lesnar, who had been the unstoppable force of the roster. That victory set the stage for the biggest match of his career, where he defeated Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania 36 to capture the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre proved that a complete transformation, in appearance, skill, and mindset, can turn someone once forgotten into a top-tier superstar worthy of standing at the very pinnacle of professional wrestling. 3. Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley is one of the clearest examples of a WWE superstar who completely reinvented her look to break through to the top. When she first appeared in the Mae Young Classic, Rhea looked very different from the version we know today. She had long blonde hair, bright-colored gear, and a youthful, almost cheerful style. At that stage, Her in-ring ability was solid, but she struggled to leave a lasting impression and was often seen as blending in with the growing roster of women's wrestlers. Rhea quickly realized that to become a true star, she needed a look that fans would instantly recognize. Instead of sticking to her original feminine style, she went for a total transformation. She chopped her hair short, dyed it black, and switched to darker, edgier outfits with a rebellious mix of gothic and punk influences. This makeover gave Rhea a fierce, intimidating presence and made her stand out, perfectly aligning with the aura of a future WWE main eventer. What made the transformation even more powerful was that it went beyond just her appearance. It changed the way she carried herself in the ring and how she connected with the audience. Rhea became more confident, showing ruthless aggression with every move and turning her matches into displays of pure dominance. Her voice, expressions, and body language evolved too, radiating the energy of a fearless leader ready to take on anyone. This reinvention opened major doors for Rhea's career. She quickly became a cornerstone of NXT, capturing the NXT Women's Championship and delivering unforgettable matches against Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair. Once she made it to the main roster, she proved her new persona was the right move by winning the Raw Women's Championship in her very first year. Today, Rhea Ripley is one of the most popular and respected stars in WWE. Her mommy persona has become iconic, embodying strength, rebellion, and the ability to command an arena. Her transformation not only solidified her place at the top, but also inspires younger wrestlers to understand that sometimes, to reach the highest level, you have to completely reinvent yourself. 4. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal's rise to the WWE Championship in 2017 remains one of the most debated stories in modern wrestling. Before that, he was mostly seen as a jobber, the guy who regularly lost to make other stars look strong. He rarely appeared in meaningful storylines and was hardly viewed as a contender for any major title. Yet in a short span of time, Jinder reinvented himself into a completely different version, forcing both fans and WWE management to take notice. After being released by WWE, Jinder spent nearly 2 years fully focused on transforming his body and career. He committed to a strict diet, trained at an intense level every single day, and rebuilt his physique from the ground up. When WWE brought him back in 2016, he looked nothing like the man fans remembered, ripped, lean, and radiating energy. More than just his body, his attitude had shifted. He was confident, disciplined, and determined to prove his worth. That transformation caught the eye of Vince McMahon. To Vince, Jinder now had every quality needed to be a main event player: an imposing physique, a commanding presence, and the ability to play a despised heel on screen. WWE quickly positioned him as a legitimate threat, which soon led to the shocking moment where he defeated Randy Orton to capture the WWE Championship. The decision divided the fan base. Some argued WWE only pushed Jinder to appeal to the Indian market, while others believed his drastic physical change and relentless work ethic truly earned him the spot. Whatever the real reason, Jinder Mahal's story stands as clear proof that a complete transformation, both in body and mindset, can elevate a forgotten name into the company's top champion in record time. 5. Becky Lynch. When Becky Lynch first stepped onto WWE's main roster, she was introduced as the Irish Lass Kicker, a cheerful Irish girl with bright orange hair, always smiling, full of energy, and bringing a friendly vibe to the crowd. Her look at the time was fairly simple: colorful outfits and a bubbly persona that made her likable, but she didn't truly stand out from other female wrestlers. Despite consistently delivering in the ring and showcasing solid technique, Becky was often placed behind Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks in major storylines, which stalled her momentum. The turning point came in 2018, when Becky completely reinvented her image and attitude. After SummerSlam, she shocked fans by turning heel against Charlotte and began calling herself the Man. This wasn't just a nickname, it was a declaration that she saw herself as WWE's top star, equal to or even above her male counterparts. Her style shifted dramatically: leather jackets, dark tights, sunglasses, and a cold, rebellious demeanor. Becky now walked to the ring with absolute confidence, carrying herself like a fearless outlaw. The change lit a fire with the audience. Fans who already admired her rallied even harder behind the Man, turning her into a phenomenon. Her promos grew sharper and more intense, and she consistently clashed with WWE's biggest names like Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. Everything built to WrestleMania 35, where Becky made history as the first woman to ever main event WrestleMania, and walked away with both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships in the same night. From the bubbly Irish lass kicker to the bold and defiant, the Man, Becky Lynch transformed into a powerful symbol of female empowerment and WWE's most dominant woman of the modern era. Her evolution in look, style, and attitude elevated her into one of the biggest superstars the company has ever produced. 6. Goldust. Goldust's return at the 2013 Royal Rumble was one of those moments that made the crowd erupt. Many believed his career had ended long ago, but this appearance wasn't just about nostalgia. It showcased an entirely new version of Goldust. During his time away, he dedicated himself to transforming his body, shedding nearly 60 pounds through a strict no-carb diet and consistent training. The result was a leaner, stronger, and far more agile Goldust than fans had seen in years. What shocked both fans and critics alike was that, despite being close to 50, Goldust was performing at near-peak form. He not only retained his trademark unorthodox style, but also displayed impressive stamina and toughness. His resurgence convinced WWE to sign him to a long-term contract, opening the door for a final, yet brilliant chapter in his career. Soon after his official comeback, Goldust teamed with his younger brother Cody Rhodes in a heated rivalry against The Shield, one of WWE's most dominant factions at the time. Their partnership delivered unforgettable moments, including a tag team championship match widely considered one of the year's best. Goldust stunned audiences by keeping pace with, and at times even outshining, opponents who were years younger. Beyond his in-ring skills, Goldust showed renewed focus and an undeniable passion for wrestling. Throughout his last run with WWE, he continued to refine his conditioning, deliver quality performances, and maintain his connection with the audience. Goldust's transformation stands as clear proof that discipline and determination can extend a wrestler's career. His return wasn't just a reminder of his golden past, it was living evidence that he still had what it takes to shine on the biggest stage, even with age no longer on his side. 7. Rey Mysterio. When Rey Mysterio officially joined WWE in 2002, fans immediately noticed a striking change in his appearance. Before that, Rey was celebrated for his speed and breathtaking aerial maneuvers, but his frame was quite small, with little visible muscle. However, stepping into WWE, a company that has always emphasized physical presence, Rey transformed himself into an entirely new version. He committed to intense training, followed a strict nutrition plan, and built a lean, muscular body capable of standing toe-to-toe with the giants of the industry. Many fans at the time believed this transformation was Rey's way of convincing Vince McMahon that he could be taken seriously as a legitimate threat in the ring. And clearly, it worked. Vince placed huge faith in Rey, even personally overseeing his debut. It was Vince himself who insisted that Rey continue wearing his iconic mask, the very symbol that made him famous in Mexico, to craft a unique, instantly recognizable image that set him apart from every other wrestler on the roster. The improved physique not only made Rey look more credible but also enhanced the believability of his matches. With added strength and endurance, he could still deliver his dazzling high-flying offense while also absorbing the punishing blows of much larger opponents. This gave WWE confidence to feature him in major title bouts where fans could realistically believe he might prevail. As a result, Rey Mysterio quickly rose to become one of the biggest stars in WWE history, capturing 3 world championships along with numerous other accolades. He became an inspiration to countless fans, proving that with determination and reinvention, even a smaller wrestler can ascend to legendary status. 8. Braun Strowman. The year 2016 marked a major turning point in Braun Strowman's career. After his run with the Wyatt family, where he played the role of the silent enforcer, WWE made the bold decision to split him off and push him as a single star. It was a gamble, but the company believed that with his massive size and raw power, Braun could become one of the most dominant forces in wrestling for years to come. Reinventing Braun's image went hand in hand with a complete physical transformation. Once carrying a bulkier frame with a high body fat percentage, he committed himself to a strict regimen, shedding dozens of pounds and replacing them with solid muscle. Intense weight training, relentless cardio, and a disciplined diet helped him build a body that was not only gigantic but also well-proportioned. This shift made Braun look more intimidating while giving him surprising agility inside the ring. When the transformation was complete, Braun Strowman stepped out with an entirely new presence. Bulging muscles, a chiseled frame, and speed that defied his size. WWE capitalized on this instantly, branding him as a monster among men. No longer hiding behind layered clothing, Braun confidently wrestled shirtless, showcasing his six-pack abs and massive arms, which only added to his aura of destruction. This reinvention propelled Braun to the top quickly. He entered high-profile rivalries with major stars like Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins, where his overwhelming strength and revitalized look were on full display. From a background player in the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman rose to become a top-tier singles competitor, capturing the Universal Championship and cementing his legacy as one of the most fearsome monsters WWE has ever produced. 9. Triple H. When Triple H first arrived in WWE, he debuted as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, an arrogant aristocrat with long blonde hair tied neatly in the back, dressed in refined attire, and performing with an over-the-top pompous style. While this persona initially drew attention, over time it boxed him into the role of a pretentious snob, making it difficult for him to be seen as a top superstar. Triple H realized that to climb higher, he needed a complete transformation, not just in how he performed, but in his look and overall presence. The true turning point came in the late 90s, when Triple H joined D-Generation X alongside Shawn Michaels. This was the moment he fully shed his old image. The tied-back hair came loose, the aristocratic presentation was scrapped, and in its place emerged a rebellious outlaw, leather jackets, jeans, dark sunglasses, and a thick beard that made him look tougher and more dangerous. No longer the polished Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H became the Game, muscular, defiant, and ready to go against anyone and anything. This new persona was supported by a rigorous training regimen that built him into a powerhouse with broad shoulders and a commanding physique. His matches now showcased not only his strength but also his ability to embody dominance every time he stepped into the ring. Fans no longer saw him as a smug nobleman. They saw a hardened warrior, a true rebel leader. That reinvention paved the way for Triple H to rise into the ranks of WWE's main event elite. He grew into the centerpiece of the company, leading D-Generation X, and later becoming a cornerstone of Evolution, the faction that dominated WWE for years. Triple H's transformation wasn't just physical. He also reshaped his storytelling, turning himself into one of the most complex and compelling characters in WWE history. From a stale aristocrat to an enduring icon, Triple H's evolution into the Game cemented his place as one of wrestling's true legends. 10. The Miz. Sometimes, even the smallest change in appearance can completely alter how the world perceives you, and The Miz is the perfect example of that. The year 2009 marked a major turning point in his career, when what seemed like a simple adjustment ended up opening the door for him to become one of WWE's top stars. On an episode of Raw, Miz competed against Eugene under the name The Calgary Kid. This time, he wore a red mask and switched from his usual jean shorts to traditional wrestling trunks. The change not only concealed his identity but also gave him a much sharper, more polished, and professional look, exactly what a legitimate wrestler should embody. Around this period, Miz also dedicated himself to serious training, reshaping his body to be leaner, stronger, and more defined. When he re-emerged with this new image, Miz immediately impressed people backstage, especially Vince McMahon. His improved physique combined with his trademark confidence convinced Vince that Miz was ready for the next level. In fact, Vince personally insisted that from that point forward, Miz should always wrestle in trunks, since they best highlighted his build and commanding presence. What seemed like a minor change ended up becoming the catalyst for Miz's rise. Only months later, he captured the Money in the Bank briefcase, which propelled him into the ranks of WWE's world champions. From someone once dismissed as an outsider, Miz gradually proved himself as one of the company's premier sports entertainers. The Miz's transformation is living proof that in WWE, appearance and presentation can redefine your entire trajectory. By seizing the moment and turning a simple wardrobe adjustment into a statement, Miz launched himself toward the peak of his career, ultimately becoming WWE champion and one of the most influential figures of the modern era. 11. Edge. When Edge made his shocking return at the 2020 Royal Rumble after 9 years in retirement, the entire arena erupted. His comeback wasn't just a nostalgic moment, it marked the beginning of a new chapter for the Rated R Superstar. But Edge knew that if he wanted to truly last in WWE, especially at 48 years old, he had to prepare more seriously than ever. He didn't want to return only for emotional applause. He wanted to prove he could still compete with a younger, hungrier generation. In preparation for his comeback, Edge spent months training at an intense level, revamping his diet, and rebuilding his body from the ground up. The result of that grueling process was a physique so defined and powerful that even he admitted it was the best shape of his career. For the first time, fans saw Edge with chiseled six-pack abs, solid arms, and a confident presence that showed he was ready for long, grueling matches. The payoff became clear almost immediately. Edge delivered critically acclaimed matches against top stars, a year-long feud with Randy Orton in 2020, a Universal Championship clash with Roman Reigns, and an emotional rivalry with Seth Rollins in 2021. Every time he stepped into the ring, Edge showed that his return wasn't about reliving the past. It was about being a vital part of WWE's present storylines. Vince McMahon had always regarded Edge as a cornerstone talent, and his dedication to transforming his physique only strengthened that reputation with management. Edge proved that with discipline and determination, even after nearly a decade away, a wrestler could come back to the top and create unforgettable moments. His comeback wasn't just a personal triumph. It became an inspiration for fans everywhere, a reminder that passion and hard work can push you beyond any limit. 12. Kalisto. The year 2020 marked a major turning point in Kalisto's career as he returned to WWE after 8 months on the sidelines with a serious shoulder injury. That period was anything but easy, but instead of letting it break him, Kalisto used the time to reinvent himself. Along with focusing on rehab, he pushed himself through intense training sessions to reach peak physical condition. Kalisto later admitted that he set a clear goal for his comeback. When he stepped back into the spotlight, he wanted everyone to notice his dramatic transformation. It wasn't just about a new hairstyle or updated gear. He built a stronger, more muscular physique than ever before. His efforts paid off in such a striking way that even Vince McMahon, known for being hard to impress, personally approached him backstage with praise. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Kalisto revealed that Vince was nearly stunned by his new look. He recalled that moment vividly. "When I showed up, Vince looked me over and just said, 'God, you're really jacked.'" Hearing that directly from him was incredible. "It made me feel like all the hard work was worth it." This transformation not only boosted Kalisto's confidence but also created new opportunities for him and the Lucha House Party to appear more frequently on television. Their matches received more focus, and the group became an exciting highlight of weekly shows. Kalisto understood that in WWE, appearance and performance often determine how talent is used. His return with a completely redefined image gave him fresh momentum, catching the attention of both fans and company executives. Kalisto's journey shows that with determination and dedication, a wrestler can rewrite their career path. He turned what could have been a career setback into a chance to rebuild himself, and in doing so, elevated his presence to a whole new level. 13. The Big Show. Throughout his career, the Big Show was known more for his massive size than for having a sculpted physique. But in 2017, the 7-foot giant decided to completely reinvent himself, transforming both his body and his career. The spark for this change came unexpectedly. During a lighthearted conversation, John Cena once joked that it would be hilarious if someone as big as Big Show ever had six-pack abs. What seemed like a harmless remark actually pushed Big Show to seriously consider improving his conditioning. He had already wanted to become healthier and more durable to extend his career, so he committed to a total lifestyle overhaul. Big Show adopted a strict diet, cutting carbs and increasing protein, while spending hours each day training. His workouts combined heavy weightlifting, cardio, and functional exercises to burn fat and build lean muscle. With consistent effort, he lost nearly 70 pounds and, for the first time in his career, achieved six-pack abs, something few thought possible for a man of his size. In an interview with WWE.com, Big Show explained, "You don't get the kind of change I made without undoing 40 years of bad habits with eating and training. I wanted to change, and when I had the time and opportunity to do it, I gave it everything I had." His words highlighted the determination and discipline that fueled his transformation. This dramatic reinvention impressed WWE leadership, especially Vince McMahon. Not only did Big Show's new physique stand out, but he also moved with more speed, energy, and explosiveness than in years past. Soon after, he was placed in a rivalry with Braun Strowman, producing some of the best matches of his career. Big Show proved that even late in his run, he could reinvent himself and deliver performances that left fans in awe. 14. The Rock. When Dwayne Johnson first appeared in WWE, he was introduced as Rocky Maivia, a textbook babyface with a big smile, colorful gear, and a squeaky clean positive image that felt almost forced. Rocky Maivia was portrayed as the good guy who always smiled, respected his opponents, and played by the rules. But instead of winning fans over, the character backfired. To the audience, he was too polished, too perfect, and ultimately bland. Soon, chants of "Die Rocky Die" echoed at events, forcing both WWE and Johnson himself to rethink the direction of his persona. The turning point came when Rocky Maivia reinvented himself as The Rock. He overhauled his entire look, neatly trimmed hair, dark sunglasses, flashy Versace shirts, and a completely new attitude. No longer the overly nice underdog, The Rock became a cocky, charismatic superstar who mocked opponents with razor-sharp catchphrases. His promos were so captivating that every time he picked up a microphone, fans anticipated something memorable. This reinvention made The Rock one of the most magnetic figures of the Attitude Era. He was quickly elevated into a top star, engaging in legendary rivalries with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Mankind. The transformation wasn't just about clothes or appearance. His confidence, personality, and performance style matured, evolving into a sharper, more entertaining package that connected with millions. The shift not only turned him into one of WWE's biggest icons, but also opened the door to Hollywood. Today, The Rock isn't just a wrestling legend, but one of the highest-paid actors in the world. From a rejected Rocky Maivia to the electrifying People's Champion, Dwayne Johnson reinvented himself as The Rock, a symbol of confidence, humor, and charisma who completely reshaped his career and left an indelible mark on WWE history. 15. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was first known as the Silent Destroyer of the Shield, the powerhouse trio alongside Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. At that time, Roman barely spoke, letting his actions do the talking with devastating spears and Superman punches. With his long tied-back hair, black tactical vest, and combat gloves, he embodied the image of a stoic warrior, expressionless, cold, but undeniably dominant. While this look helped him stand out within the group, it eventually became a mold that limited his individuality once the Shield disbanded. After WWE positioned him as the company's top star, Roman spent years facing heavy fan backlash, as many felt his character lacked depth. But the pandemic era in 2020 became the turning point for his complete reinvention. Returning after a hiatus, he looked entirely different, a neatly trimmed beard, no more body armor, and a physique on full display, highlighted by detailed Polynesian tattoos across his arm and chest, a powerful, commanding presence that radiated authority. Roman elevated his image further by embracing the role of the tribal chief, the supreme leader of the Anoa'i family. Often appearing with the ceremonial head of the table crown and tribal necklace, he embodied ultimate power and control. This shift didn't just enhance his appearance but also gave his character new layers, a ruthless, calculated, yet magnetic leader who demanded respect. With this new persona, Roman Reigns quickly established dominance over WWE. He became the longest-reigning Universal Champion of the modern era, led the Bloodline, and anchored one of the most compelling storylines in company history. No longer portrayed as a forced hero, Roman was now seen as WWE's true king, feared, respected, and impossible to ignore. From the quiet enforcer of the Shield to the commanding tribal chief, Roman Reigns has reinvented himself into the defining figure of WWE today. These were some of the most remarkable transformations in WWE history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Wrestling Sphere, and turn on notifications so you never miss more incredible wrestling stories.